This afternoon, we're interviewing Tomas about the most recent book he finished reading. Tomas, tell us, what's the title of the book, who wrote it, and what year it was published?
I read Holes, written by Loius Sachar. I hope I pronounced his name right. So this book was published in 1998, so right before 2000.
Tomas, did that book win the award for the year, or was it an honor book?
It won the Newbery Award, so it's right there if you can see it.
So it was the top book that year. How would you rate the book, Tomas? 1 being terrible, not worth reading. 5 being awesome, great. I added it to my favorites list.
4.
Why would you give it a rating of 4?
The book, it was good. I'd say there was some good, adventure, and it just sort of follows Stanley Yelnats, which is the main character. He has to go to this, I'm gonna sort of say, give the summary.
Sure, thank you.
So Stanley Yelnats, that's his last name. They keep naming their children Stanley Yelnats because if you notice, it's the same spelled backwards, and they mentioned that in the book. So they did that. But anyway, so he has to go to this camp called Camp Green Lake, where they have to dig these holes because they could either go to Camp Green Lake or they could go to juvenile detention. So
why did Stanley have to go to Green Lake?
He had to go because he was walking home from school and these shoes, some baseball players' shoes, I don't remember their name right now, they fell out of the sky. It was like a famous baseball player. And he was walking under a toll bridge and he thought they were stinky shoes and worn out shoes. And he thought it was some sort of sign because his dad was working on trying to find a way to use old sneakers. So he started running because he wanted to take them to his dad, but a cop pulled over and to find out why he was running. And it turns out that those shoes, the baseball player shoes, had been stolen. And then he was sent to court, and
he was the suspect.
Yeah, he was suspected of stealing the shoes that were valued at $5,000, and they were going to be auctioned to be sold and donate the money to a homeless
organization
or whatever.
Poor Stanley. Well, Tomas, I am wondering if there is a hero and a villain in this book, and if there are, who they were.
I wouldn't exactly say that there's a hero. I would say that there's a villain, and that villain being the warden. And the warden, she is at the head of the camp, and she's kind of cruel. And she sort of stays inside her cabin doing who really knows what. In her cabin. But this brings me to the fact that they have to dig holes. That's why it's called Holes at Camp Green Lake. The thing is, there's no Green Lake. It's a dried up lake, and they get up at 4:30. That way they can eat breakfast and start digging before the hottest part of the day. And you come in once you finish your hole. Your hole has to be 5 feet deep and 5 feet wide. And your ruler is the shovel. It's exactly 5 feet long. But if you come across anything interesting in the dirt, while you're digging, you can bring it to the warden or have someone bring it to the warden. And if she likes it, then you get the day off and you can be done digging your hole.
I'm just wondering, you don't have to answer this. I have not read the book, but that makes me think if the warden, makes me wonder, is the warden looking for something in particular out there in the dirt? You might have to read and find out. I don't know. Tomas, who might be interested in this book?
I would say 8 to 13-year-olds.
Yeah. And what genre is this book?
I think historic fiction.
Okay. So not taking place present day.
No.
Taking place a little in the past?
Yeah. I mean, the book was published in 1989, so I'm thinking maybe 1960s, maybe.
Okay.
So not too long ago, maybe 1970s.
Were there any interesting elements of writing the author used?
I wouldn't really. Well, there are some flashbacks to the past, and they're not like Stanley's past, but about sort of like what the town Green Lake was like back when it was an actual Green Lake.
And last question for today. Was this book predictable, or did it keep you guessing?
It kept me guessing.
All the way until the end?
Well, not until the very end.
But most of the way?
A lot of the time, yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to tell our audience about the book Holes?
No, not really.
Oh, tell them there is a movie.
Oh, there is a movie, and you can probably find it at your library. I do know that Disney Plus has it, though. There is a movie, and then if you want, there are some other books that were written by Loius Sachar, and he wrote. There's one about like Stanley Yelnats Survival Guide to Camp Green Lake. So it's just sort of funny. I don't know whether you would be able to find this, but like sort of how you would survive there. And then there's a different book that follows two of the other people at the camp. It's called Small Steps by Loius Sachar, and it's about Armpit and X-Ray, who were both at the camp with Stanley.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Tomas, for giving us this interview.